Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman. I was on my way to work, and I happened to have NPR on, and they had this commentary on Phoenix schools under fire for program linked to Scientology. And they were talking about applied scholastics, and Superintendent Robert Duffy was promoting this in high schools as a learning tool. So it's interesting. Nobody knew for years, and then finally when it came out, everybody freaked out about it. And Duffy's like, oh, I don't know anything about it. I'm not a Scientologist. But they just don't let anybody teach that kind of stuff or promote it. So I don't know. I think there's more to it than meets the eye. And religion loves public school systems. They roll in it. But when they ask for funds from the federal government or try to weasel their way in using, oh, it's our right to do that, they mean it's only their right. And maybe not for everybody else, but just for them. And what's interesting, not too long ago, back when Louisiana was passing education reform, Governor Bobby Jindal's overhaul of the state education system totally went down the tubes because they wanted to give school vouchers to public schools and religious schools. However, they kind of didn't realize that Muslim schools would apply. Then they tried to reverse it. I believe later it was ruled unconstitutional. But here is Republican Valerie Hodges, a quote by Watson. Valerie Hodges, R. Watson, says she had no idea that Governor Bobby Jindal's overhaul of the state education system might mean taxpayer support of Muslim schools. I like the idea of giving parents the option of sending their children to a public school or a Christian school, Hodges said. Hodges mistakenly assumed that religious meant Christian. HB 976, now signed into law as Act 2, proposed, among other things, that a voucher program allowing state educational funds to be used to send students to schools run by religious groups. Quote, unfortunately, it will not be limited to the founder's religion, Hodges said. We need to ensure that it does not open the door to fund radical Islamic schools. There are 1,000 Muslim schools that have sprung up recently. I do not support using public funds for teaching Islam anywhere in Louisiana. So, this is a joke, friends. And they roll in it, and they can't help themselves. Corporations roll in it, and they can't help themselves. So, I don't know. Know what your kid's being taught. Try to read the textbooks, and you have to be all over this because everybody's trying to weasel their way in, and it's pretty interesting. So, whenever you hear religious groups complaining about religious rights and things, they mean it for them, and maybe not necessarily for everybody else. And if we're going to cry about one, we definitely should start crying about others. You have creation science being slipped into public school systems, textbooks messed with, altered history, all kinds of stuff going on, friends. So just wanted to chat about that and see what you think. Be well, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking